Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a journey unlike any other. Tonight I invite you to sit back, relax, and let your mind drift away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let me transport you to a place of wonder and tranquility. Tonight we embark on a journey to the moon, a journey that will not only captivate your imagination, but also soothe your soul. This is the story of the first time humanity set foot on the lunar surface, a tale of dreams and dreamers, of courage and determination, of a moment that united the world and reminded us of the power of human ingenuity. As we delve into this story, let the stresses of the day melt away. Let the soft glow of the moon guide you into a state of relaxation, and let the gentle rhythm of the narrative lull you into a sense of peace. This is not just a story about astronauts and rockets. It is a story about the beauty of the human spirit, about the magic of dreams, and about the extraordinary things we can achieve when we dare to reach for the stars. So, make yourself comfortable, let your worries fade into the background, and allow yourself to be carried away by the enchanting tale of Apollo 11. Tonight, we journey to the moon, and together we will experience the wonder, the awe, and the tranquility of that one giant leap for mankind. Prologue. The silent scream. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, a silent scream echoed. It was not a scream of fear or pain, but of anticipation, of hope, of a dream that was about to be realized. It was the scream of a nation, of a world, of humanity itself. It was the summer of 1969, and the stage was set for the greatest show in the universe. Chapter 1. The Dreamers. Our story begins not with astronauts or scientists, but with dreamers. Men and women who looked up at the night sky and saw not just a celestial body, but a destination. They were the unsung heroes of the Apollo 11 mission, the ones who dared to dream the impossible. Among them was a young boy named Neil, who would grow up to be the first man to set foot on the moon. But before he was an astronaut, he was a dreamer, a boy who spent his nights gazing at the stars, wondering what it would be like to touch them. Chapter 2. The Race. The dream of landing on the moon became a race, a competition between nations. The Cold War was at its peak, and the United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a battle for supremacy, not just on Earth, but in space. The Soviets struck first, launching Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, in 1957. The Americans were caught off guard, but they were not deterred. They were dreamers, after all, and they were not about to let their dreams be crushed. Chapter 3. The Promise. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy stood before Congress and made a promise that would change the course of history. I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth. It was a bold promise, a promise that many thought was impossible. But the dreamers, they believed. They rolled up their sleeves and got to work, turning dreams into blueprints, blueprints into rockets, and rockets into reality. Chapter 4. The crew. Among the thousands of people who worked on the Apollo program, 3 men would have the honor of making the journey to the moon. Neil Armstrong, the quiet, reserved commander; Buzz Aldrin, the brilliant, outspoken pilot; and Michael Collins, the often overlooked but equally vital command module pilot. They were not just astronauts, they were the embodiment of the American dream. They were the ones who would turn the promise into reality, who would take that one giant leap for mankind. Chapter 5. The Journey. On July 16, 1969, the world held its breath as the Saturn V rocket carrying the Apollo 11 crew lifted off from the Kennedy Space Center. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated awe, a testament to the power of human ingenuity. The journey to the moon was not an easy one, It was a journey fraught with danger, with the ever-present risk of failure. But the crew pressed on, driven by the knowledge that they were part of something greater than themselves. Chapter 6. The Eagle has landed. On July 20th, 1969, the Eagle lunar module, with Armstrong and Aldrin aboard, separated from the command module and began its descent to the lunar surface. It was a moment of high tension, a moment that would determine the success or failure of the mission. As the Eagle descended, Armstrong realized that the planned landing site was strewn with boulders. With cool precision, he took manual control of the module and guided it to a safe landing spot. With just seconds of fuel remaining, the Eagle touched down on the lunar surface. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Chapter 7. The first step. 6 hours later, Armstrong stepped out of the Eagle and onto the lunar surface. As he placed his left foot onto the dusty surface, he spoke the words that would echo through history. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph, a moment that would be remembered for generations to come. It was the culmination of a dream, a promise, a journey. It was the moment that humanity became a spacefaring species. Chapter 8. The return. After spending a little over 2 hours on the lunar surface, Armstrong and Aldrin returned to the Eagle and prepared for their journey back to Earth. They left behind an American flag, a plaque that read, "Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon. July 1969 AD, we came in peace for all mankind, and a sense of awe and wonder that would inspire generations to come." Chapter 9. The Legacy. The Apollo 11 mission was more than just a scientific achievement. It was a cultural phenomenon. It was a moment that united the world, a moment that transcended politics and borders. It was a moment that reminded us of what we can achieve when we dare to dream, when we dare to reach for the stars. The legacy of Apollo 11 lives on, not just in the history books, but in the hearts and minds of those who dare to dream. It is a reminder that the impossible is not always out of reach, that with hard work, determination, and a little bit of dreaming, we can achieve the extraordinary. Epilogue. The dream lives on. As we look back on the Apollo 11 mission, we are reminded of the power of dreams. We are reminded that the impossible is not always out of reach, that with hard work, determination, and a little bit of dreaming, we can achieve the extraordinary. The dream of landing on the moon was just the beginning. It was the first step in a journey that would take us to the stars and beyond. It was a reminder that the universe is not just a place to be observed, but a place to be explored, to be experienced, to be lived. And so, as we look up at the night sky, we are reminded of that silent scream, of that dream that was realized, of that one giant leap for mankind. We are reminded that the dream lives on, that the journey is far from over, and that the best is yet to come.